And joined once again from
Austin from Ajax, baby.
We're joined from Austin from Ajax. Here we go. We're here for week 17 of the NFL, the betting action. We have some Saturday games, we got Sunday games, and if betting football is not your thing, I hope we got a whole weekend of ridiculous amount of action, bowl games in NCAA football, NBA, NHL. Currently watching the bullpen here. Some EPL action, Nottingham Forest versus Manchester City. It's going crazy. Hope you're going to enjoy your weekend and make some money. We're going to focus here on the NFL, as I talked about, but this is a sports betting podcast where we go everywhere when it comes to the world of sports. You can follow the Overrated Experience on X at Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2. You can get the podcast from any of your providers, Spotify, and all those, and Apple Podcasts. But also, you can see the visual, if you actually want to look at us, on YouTube at Overrated Experience. So I know that a lot of you folks out there like to listen to your podcast on YouTube. So a lot of action. Christmas time. Austin, what's new and exciting? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was good. I love to see the football spread out on a lot of days here. It's really nice to just be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy some football. But other than that, not too much to report.
All right, yeah. So it's I'm going to say that Austin from Ajax did me a favor. He picked me up one of the gaming chairs, and before, honestly, I didn't understand why or care to know why anybody required a gaming chair. And then, bam! I sat in it on Saturday or Christmas Day watching football. I'm like, oh my god, I understand now. It's opened my eyes. I don't feel after 2 hour, 3 hour sit down of like getting out of the chair. Yeah. Now it's like it's very comfortable. It has everything you want in comfort. And it's changed my life. I see the world in a new way.
Changed my life.
I see the new world in a new way. So I got to thank you, Austin from Ajax. It hit the spot. Let's say that.
Yeah, and I also got to thank you. Brand new microphone, better voice quality for the viewers. That's what it's all about here at the Overrated Experience. So let's go.
Okay, so remember with the mic, what I want you to do is just you rookie podcaster is I want you to kind of turn it so that you're talking into it because you keep going away from it.
Okay, sounds good.
There, and talk with a little more volume, a little more oomph, okay? Austin from Ajax is, really learning this podcast thing, no problem. All right, now we got a lot to talk about, and we did have some Christmas Day games. Many of those games kind of went the way we thought they would. Dallas, I guess the only surprise with Dallas was would they, play Dak the whole game, which they did, and they took care of Washington. There was some little scares there, here and there. But, Dallas took care of them. Going to the later game, Denver, Kansas City is in real deep shit. With Mahomes is not healthy to start the year. They're in trouble. Had to go on their third string quarterback. Gardner Minshew almost last week feared he tore his ACL. Second week in a row, a KC quarterback could have tore their ACL, but he didn't. But he's out. And the Broncos rolled over them expectantly. But I really got to talk about the situation with the Detroit Lions. I don't understand. Like, that was what I was banking on, is them taking care of business against Minnesota. The Vikings win. The Lions, back against the wall, desperate. Odds were low that they would make the playoffs based on they needed help. But to come off with a performance like that, the number of turnovers was outrageous. They lost 23-10 to a quarterback in Brosmer that threw 51 yards. He threw 51 friggin' yards, and they get outscored by 13 points. Absolutely disgusting. 2 INTs from Jared Goff. And then you had, 6 turnovers? I think fumbles. Yeah, it was a total of 6 turnovers that basically handed the Vikings the win and ending the Lions season. And I got some comments on this. But what are your thoughts on, if you're a Lions fan right now, or you're Dan Campbell, how do you have to be thinking constructing this roster heading into next season?
That's honestly a really hard question because there's a lot of teams this year where it's like, how the hell are they performing this poorly, right? And I could maybe chalk up this week's loss to a fluke, but I don't know how the Lions are where they're at. They still have all the weapons they've had previous years. Like I almost want to call it a fluke season, but maybe you would have more input of how they could fix this team, or if you agree or think that. There's some serious issues here on this team. For me, I'm at a loss when it comes to the Lions. Like I say week after week, but one of the most entertaining teams to watch, and it seems like everything is there.
I have or had full faith in the Detroit Lions. I mean, I was, fearful that the schedule that they were provided this year would really give them a rocky road to get to the playoffs, but they would eventually get there. They would make somehow lock in a wild card, if not still challenge for the division. But it wasn't even the schedule or the teams I thought they would struggle with that really stood out to me as a concern. And just an icing on the cake was this Minnesota Vikings. The Detroit Lions, at the level I thought they were on, losing to a quarterback that throws 51 yards, and then turning the ball over 6 times. 6 times. They turned the ball. All they had to do was the absolute opposite to win this football game. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. Keep field position. Squeeze the Minnesota Vikings. Put them in a position where they got to rely on Brosmer, their quarterback, who's absolute trash, to throw the ball when he in bad situations. And I don't know if maybe Dan Campbell, who I like, having the play call duties is necessarily the right thing. I don't think he can get out of his own way. I was questioning some of the decisions on, 2nd and 7, and they would get 2 yards on a run and then put them back into a 3rd and somewhat long scenario. It was bad. It looked bad. And I do believe that maybe they do have to think about tinkering with the roster a bit. I'm not talking about Jared Goff. I'm not talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. But are they a two-headed monster at running back or not? What is their philosophy? So a lot to think about. And I think Dan Campbell, again, has to get out of his own way when it comes to play calling and decision-making. I believe you have to plan to your opponent versus I have a general philosophy regardless if I'm playing the Rams or the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think that's appropriate. So I'm a loss for words in this and absolutely disgusted. I can't express that enough. Absolutely disgusted the Lions really hosed me on Christmas Day. Really a lump of coal in my stocking.
I wasn't surprised that the Vikings won, but it was just the fashion in which it happened.
Why? Okay. J.J. McCarthy is out. Brosmer is in. He threw for 51 yards. The fact that the Lions had 6 turnovers was the only reason why the Vikings won that game. Why would you not be surprised that the Vikings won?
Well, just Vikings defense has been pretty solid this year. They're at home, and in my head, it was like the quarterback play can't get worse. Like J.J. McCarthy or the next guy up, it's like, does it really matter? To me, it didn't going into this game. Obviously, like you said, the quarterback, and I don't think he would have thrived, but he was never forced in a position where they even had to use him at all. So that was kind of the crazy part to it. But I would have liked to see if we had a real game there.
Yeah, but it was self-destruction. It was just so goddamn hard to watch. He threw another interception. Oh my God, they fumbled
crazy.
again. That's like, how is that possible? When you're getting the Lions are marching, and then Jahmyr Gibbs puts it on the turf. It's just disgusting, man. Really disgusting. Sorry, you obviously can tell that I had a chunk of my action on Christmas Day banking that the Lions were a lock. And there is no locks in the NFL at all. And I'm just going to touch base on Week 16 of the NFL. A couple losses. Tampa Bay, and we'll get into it, but Tampa Bay disappointed me. They walk into Carolina. They were going back and forth, and when it came time for Baker to step up at the end there and lead them to at least a game-tying drive, he couldn't do it. He throws a pick, right? It's bad optics for what this Tampa Bay team is. I'm losing faith in them, and also really had the Ravens having to beat the New England Patriots. And then bam, Lamar Jackson gets a knee to the back. He gets a knee to the back that I believe was the turning point in that game. I think Lamar Jackson ices the Patriots out. He's not been at his top game, obviously, but Hudley he's so I'm sorry, but he's garbage. And the comment that John Harbaugh made at halftime when the discussion was, is Lamar coming back, is that Snoop Hudley could do everything Lamar can. What a stupid comment that was. What a stupid thing to say.
That's a terrible take.
Oh my God, horrible. Anyway, we'll get into it. Feel free, Austin, as we go through the games this Saturday and Sunday, to comment on anything that happened previously with any of these teams. But just crazy word of the NFL, man. It's just so wild. I can't keep up. And you're going to see me wearing my old man glasses here because I can't see when I'm reading. So bear with me, kids. Austin's the youth, and I'm the old guy on this podcast.
I truly believe this 2025 season has been the most bizarre football season I've ever watched. Just when it comes to results of expectation.
Yeah, it makes zero sense for many of this, and I don't know how we do it and stay sane. But anyway, we got some Saturday action going on in the NFL. 2 games, 2 actually interesting matchups. We kick off at 4:31 with the Houston Texans coming off a kind of a weird performance, beating the Vegas Raiders, but not dominating in any way. They come into SoFi to take on the Chargers. They are a 1.5 point underdog, and this game's at 39.5. Interesting matchup, to say the least here. The Houston Texans are the Colts' only hope that if they need to falter here to keep the Colts' slim playoff hopes alive. So, the folks in Indianapolis will be watching big time in this. If we look at the standings, if we look at the overall, like I said, the Texans are 10-5, Colts are 8-7, so they're 2 games behind. The Chargers have already locked up a playoff position, but they probably want to aim for the 2nd seed, as they now currently hold the first wild card spot, and they're a game behind New England. So I got to believe the Chargers are going to be coming out swinging in this one. Austin, to be honest with you, we've seen a rather crappy performance by that Houston Texans offense against the ugly Las Vegas Raiders. But I still believe big time that this Houston D is going to come out swinging. They're going to hit. And, Justin Herbert still has a broken left hand, right? It's heavily damaged. And he takes a beating on a daily basis, on a game-by-game basis. And the Houston Texans are a defense that hit hard. They smash. They are like the Incredible Hulk out there. So I'm going to go with the Houston Texans on this. And I'll say over, but I feel a lot more comfortable that the Texans win this game outright.
Yeah. See, I'm going to go head-to-head with you here. I think these are 2 very evenly matched teams. Although I was at a bar watching some of last week's games, and this one guy, he was a big Chargers fan that I was talking to. And, he's telling me, he's like, tell me Justin Herbert's not top 5. Tell me Justin Herbert's not top 5. And I was like, hey, you know what? Just if we're talking over the years, he probably is in that 5 spot. He is probably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I think, this week he should be able to prove it. But even though I'm going head to head with you there, the over-under at 39.5 looks way too low to me. I easily see both teams getting at least 21, 3 touchdowns apiece. So hammer that one, and let's move on to the next one.
All right, so I don't disagree with your Chargers fan there. It's probably in a drunken stoop and just going off, right? I don't disagree with him that Justin Herbert could be argued that he's in the top 5, and I really don't want to go through it at the moment. But I don't think it's him today that has a struggle. I think it's his O-line. I think when the Chargers struggle, it's because they can't protect Justin Herbert and let him do his thing. And I think today's one of those days. All right. We have the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Malik Willis will be in. Jordan Love is out for the Green Bay Packers. But they are still 3.5 point favorites hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar Jackson is listed as doubtful. Hasn't practiced all week. Snoop Hudley, who we talked about, looks like he'll be quarterbacking the Ravens, who are absolutely desperate at this very moment. They lose, they're done. They lose, they are done. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens that every year we're talking Super Bowl contention. Can they get over the hump? But now we're talking about just staying alive to get into a week 18 matchup against the Steelers. So what do you like here? It's 38.5, very low scoring. I'm going to go with the under in this, and I'll start off with that, and I'll leave it to you. What do you like here?
I actually like, I think it's a very evenly matched game. But the fact that you're giving me a field goal protection at 3.5 with the Baltimore Ravens, I'll take them. I think this comes down to a lot of the running game. It's going to be Josh Jacobs against Derrick Henry. And, that's actually going to be quite fun to watch in a game that's a must-win game. I don't think it's a terrible game here. So give me Baltimore Ravens 3.5. And you know what? That's just such a low... I think even though it's running, I think it gets to 40. I think it's right there. I'm not as enthusiastic about this total, but give me the over 38.5.
Okay, interesting. So where I'll go, yeah. What I'll stay here is that you got to give the ball to Derrick Henry. Snoop Huntley is not. He just dinks and dunks down the field. That's it. That's all he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was never a Malik Willis fan because he was horrible with the Tennessee Titans, but he has been I don't know. He's had a rebound in his career since being with the Packers. He's been a very trustworthy backup quarterback, and I think can keep this offense moving. But I still find it struggle to see them go over 38.5. So I'll take the Packers in this one.
I do have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Just because online, it's one thing that I've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing Zay Flowers get a lot of hate this year, and I want your opinion if you think it's deserved or if it's not deserved.
I think the hate for him is because some of the key fumbles he's involved in late in ball games. We've seen that a couple of years back in Kansas when they hosted the Kansas City Chiefs. When he was stretching for the goal line, he choked, fumbled the ball, and that was really the turning point in that ball game. And then you see last night or Sunday night where he got hit from behind, coughed at the ball, and basically ended the football game. But I don't get it. He's a good receiver, and at the point where he coughed it up on Sunday, it was still very low odds that they would march down the field and do something. So I don't see the hate.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
So anyway, we're going to move on to Sunday, but before we do, we got the in-between Saturday and Sunday matchup, Concrete Facts, brought to you by Austin from Ajax. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Boy. It's that time of the show, folks.
That's it.
All right, so I have the recap of the question last week. Why does let me just read the fact or the recap. Okay, so there's something called the contaminant structure, which is a reinforced concrete building that encloses the reactor and its main cooling systems. This contaminant structure will block harmful radiation because the concrete is absorbent and dense. So that's why it's beneficial to build it in space. That's the recap of why. And then the new fun fact is the Empire State Building, which was finished in 1931, took 62,000 cubic yards of concrete, which is enough to fill 19 Olympic-sized swimming pools to build. So there you go, and we'll be back with another fun concrete fact next week.
Wow, interesting. You're always learning something.
Only here on the Overrated Experience.
Wow, that's absolute knowledge that you're spitting out here. So thank you for those facts. Keep them coming.
Yep. That's for our finishing concrete finisher following on the podcast.
We'll call them our concrete community. Always a solid backing from those folks. So we're happy to have them. Now we get on to Sunday, and I'm just going to let our listeners know that we'll try to spend more time on games with significant meaning. We'll give picks for all the games. But Austin, don't let that hold me back. Don't let that hold you back. If you have something to say, a prop to give, a feeling about a game, even though it may not have any playoff implications. And we do have a game with playoff implications. An absolute slap to the face is respect to the Carolina Panthers. They're going to be hosting the Seattle Seahawks, and they're 7.5-point dogs to the Seahawks with an over/under of 42.5. So both these teams coming off big wins. The Seahawks could arguably be coming off the game of the year with that controversial 2-point conversion, the overtime 2-point conversion where they win outright to beat the Rams. And then, so big game here. Carolina Again, we sat here last week and I said, look, I'm going to take Tampa Bay, but Carolina for somehow is going to win this goddamn game. I hate this team. They have no reason to be here, but they're in the driver's seat. They lead the division over Tampa Bay. Is 7.5 too big of a gap here?
You know what? I do not think 7.5 is too big of a gap because the Seattle Seahawks are a legit Super Bowl contender, and on top of that, they beat up on the shitty teams. Yes, Carolina's overperformed this year dramatically, but I think I think Carolina. I think they are frauds, and I think this week Seattle definitely beats them by double digits. So give me the minus 7.5 here, and also give me the over. I think I do think Carolina will be able to score. I think they get close to 20, if not 20. So with me thinking Seattle's going to put the boots to them, give me that and give me the over.
You know what? Everything you said makes sense, but what does not make sense is the Carolina Panthers. Mm-hmm. Their season makes zero sense to me when I watch them play. That their defense comes up big with big takeaways, such as shutting down Baker that last drive to seal the victory. So I think they cover. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks should smash them, should destroy them, but they're traveling across country. They're playing at 1:00. Sam Darnold, I know you have more faith in him than I do. He's been solid, but I don't think he is immune to any poor performance. Kenneth Walker looked pretty good last week, like on Thursday, but I don't think he has a giant game that he did. So give me the Carolina Panthers to cover. I do agree with you. I think there'll be some points scored here. But Carolina, man, they're like the team opposite. If you feel that they're going to win, take them to lose. If you feel they're going to lose, take them to win. So I feel they're going to lose, so I'm going to take them to win. I can see them winning the game. I can see them winning the game outright. I'll be honest with you.
This team has won against the Rams, who are largely considered the Super Bowl favorite, and they have lost against the Saints twice, I think. So
they lost against the New Orleans Tyler Shook and the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shook. But yet they bring down the NFL MVP at home.
Yeah,
all right.
Which clearly, I'm pretty sure we both agree Stafford is the MVP.
Well, we'll maybe have that discussion at the end quickly. But yeah, right now it's hard to see. Or Drake Mays probably made a case based on his performance in Baltimore. Yep. So we have Arizona, Cincinnati. There's not much to really say on this. The Cincinnati Bengals are 7-point favorites hosting the Cardinals, 53.5. Again, Jacoby Brissett quarterbacks the Arizona Cardinals. They do put up some points, but usually in a losing effort. I do see Cincinnati probably winning here and covering. I with Joe Burrow there, looks like he's hungry to play. I think he wants to put up numbers. I don't think he just wants to make an appearance. I think he wants to make an impact. This game is going to go over 53.5. Not much to say here.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I completely agree. I take the exact same thing. Also, just want to give an honorable mention to Chase, the running back. He's been unbelievable, and 2 chases on this team, 2 really good chases. But yeah, nothing else to say. Let's move on to the next one.
Well, one's Chase Brown and one's Jamar Chase, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and Chase Brown's Canadian. Did you know that?
Really, I actually didn't know that. I knew Chubba Hubbard, but I did not know that. Wow.
Yep. And then we have Tampa Bay, which has to absolutely win to stay and make that Week 18 game with Carolina mean anything. They're 5.5-point favorites heading into Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. Quinn Ewers had not the best debut against the Bengals last week in his rookie debut. 44.5. Can Tampa Bay get it done, or are they going to choke again? What do you think?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've been struggling this year, and I think this could be a potential choke spot.
Ooh.
But I do like the straight up win more than I like the spread. But because of the potential choke spot, 5.5 points, give me Miami +5, and give me the over 44.5. I think this is a explosive game with over 50 points.
All right, I'll take the over with you, but 5.5. You think Miami's going to cover?
Yeah, I do.
I think because of the poor quarterback play we're going to see, this is the reason why Tampa will cover. I think there'll be a 10-point, 13-point win, and they'll put it to bed and get ready for Week 18 against the Panthers.
I hope so. Now,
interesting matchup, big matchup. Maybe here is a very interesting matchup from a betting perspective because you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, 5.5 point favorites, heading into Indy to take on the Phillip Rivers and the Colts. 48.5 is the over under. So if the Houston Texans win on Saturday, the Colts have really nothing to play for. Jacksonville still staying in contention to keep going up the ranks here. They are 11-4, but hope to potentially, in theory, chase the Broncos still. But I don't think they. Yeah, they can because they have the head-to-head win against the Broncos. So in theory, I mean they're still chasing the number 1 seed, but more likely the number 2 seed. Where do you see this game going right now, Jacksonville and Indy?
So I've said for a long time, Jacksonville's that team that always kind of has the high expectations, but they underperform. And this year, it actually really looks like they found their ground. And I really do think they're a legit playoff team here, where sky's the limit. They have a well-rounded team, so I really like them. And the Colts are just on a downward world spiral. And I think Jacksonville, another team that I think can win by double digits this week. Give me a -5.5, and you know what? Give me the under because I think the Colts struggled to score.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over still, but in the way the Colts have been playing recently, it's not even Phillip Rivers is the problem. He was producing on Monday night, like he was getting this offense going. So their defense can't shut anything down. Their defense did not do any justice to the 49ers, trying to slow them down. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are on an absolute roll right now. They are flying. They are going. They are probably what the envision of Trevor Lawrence and this offense was supposed to be. Better late than never, I guess. I think it keeps up. I think they smash the Colts. Whether the Colts are still in playoff contention or not, the Colts are reeling, and it's their D. It's not Old Man Rivers that's kind of been their downfall. So let's go Jacksonville to cover. We have an interesting matchup. I keep saying that, but it's not really an interesting matchup. New England should smash the Jets here. 13.5 point favorites are the Patriots. The Jets are, insignificant. They're so insignificant right now where I'm going to just take New England all day. There's no way I can put my hopes on the Jets in any fashion. I'll say under 48.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
You know what? It's just so many points. It just comes down. I would not bet this, but I would take. I think the Patriots win by 10. So give me Jets plus 13.5, and give me the under. I think this will be a very low-scoring game here. I think the Jets struggle to score, and I think this is going to be a complete snooze fest.
Yeah, not necessarily. I'm hoping that Red Zone cuts to this one at any point at all. Next game, we have New Orleans taking on the Tennessee Titans. I think this is going to be a game you won't even think about, but what are your thoughts on this one?
You know what? We've bet on Tennessee Titans a couple times in the last weeks, and it's just a thing that you don't want to do. I don't want to make that mistake twice. Give me the Saints. And give me the over 39.5.
Okay, I'll take the under. I think the Saints right now are playing a lot better than the Titans. Obviously, I have a lot more faith. We talked about knocking off Tampa Bay a couple times. Tennessee's terrible. I don't. They're just awful, and I think a field goal is way too low. I think New Orleans gets the job done. All right, and I'll take the over on that one. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh and Cleveland is the divisional matchup that will take place on Sunday. Pittsburgh could wrap up the division with a win, lock themselves in. They've been on a tear of late. Like, I did not see them walking into Detroit, knocking off the Detroit Lions the way they did. Aaron Rodgers seems to be rolling. The addition of Adam Thielen that they picked off the waiver wire was exactly what they needed, the additional depth where, Rodgers can go to Metcalf. Oh, Metcalf is suspended 2 games, by the way, so he's out for punching that fan. So does Cleveland have anything in the tank to help win this game?
I don't. No, I don't think they do. I know that Cleveland still has a solid defense, but Pittsburgh is a playoff team. And I think, the playoff team should be able to win by more than 3 points here. Or, I think it'll be right around 3 points. So worst case scenario, I think you get the push if they win by 3. And the over 34 and a half. That's probably the lowest total I've seen in some time. I think you definitely take that over. So give me Steelers -3 and give me the over 34 and a half.
Yeah, I'll take the same as you on that one. I think that if somehow they falter here against Cleveland and wind up, let's say, losing against a Baltimore team next week that beats Green Bay today, you got to question, like, man, DK Metcalf really screwed your season over.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of what he
Yeah,
did?
I seen the video. There's still controversy. Even the fan had a press conference. I don't know if you've seen that. He had a press conference saying he didn't say anything derogatory, anything racial, and he wants DK to admit it. But I don't know what's what. Like, I mean, there had to be something that drove DK to walk over and punch the guy in the head or take a swing at him.
No, he pulled his hair or something. I think he
but
pulled
also,
his hair like
yeah,
this.
but he also took a swing at him.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so
I didn't see that.
it's not good. We don't know, and I would hate to be in the position sometimes that these guys are in where people are probably using personal information. It won't be the first time somebody's probably used a racial slur on the road. It's probably ugly. You don't want to see people like that, and you get caught up on reacting, and you get suspended. So it's a tough one. Steelers probably want to put this division to bed on Sunday so they don't have to worry about that win and end kind of game on Week 18. And I do think they get the job done. So I don't think there's much of a fear here that they lose. All right. Now, one of those insignificant games, we have the New York Giants, 2.5-point favorites heading into Las Vegas to take on I don't know what the Vegas Raiders are. Right now, they're having a controversy because they want to shut down Max Crosby, and he doesn't want to be shut down. He wants to play. So this franchise is a mess, absolute mess. The Giants are not necessarily far behind as far as a messy franchise. What do you think happens in this one? Let's not spend too much time on this one.
Yeah, I think Raiders win a lucky game here. Plus, I think it's kind of like a 50-50 game as well. And you got the 2.5 points, so I think that really is the difference for me here. The Raiders really underperformed this year. I kind of believed in some of their star power, but just wasn't enough to get it done. Give me the Raiders 2.5 and give me the over.
Over
41.5.
Okay, I don't think I've taken one under. I think I'm going to take the over as well. I'll take the Giants though. I just think the Raiders. Geno Smith is going to cough a couple interceptions up.
Oh, one thing to mention, is this not, I think I heard somebody say this is the battle for the last pick. Is that true?
Yeah, so that's one of the questions Max Crosby was asked. Hey, do you care that about the first overall pick? He's like, I don't care. Obviously on the field, so it's interesting because Brock Bowers is out, by the way, for the Raiders. He's not playing, and it's a battle of the basement. Right, it's a battle of the basement. So we'll see what happens here. Let's not spend too much time on this one. And the only other game at 4:00 hour here is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, a potential game of the day scenario here, and the Bills are a 1.5 favorite at home, 44.5. What do you like in this one?
This is my prediction for the Super Bowl here, but I will take the Eagles. I think the Eagles are the better team, the more well-rounded team. And then I'm pretty sure this would force, if the Bills lose, does it force a deciding game for the division next week against the Patriots in Buffalo? Am I wrong?
You're wrong, because they already played the
They
Patriots twice.
Already played. Oh, okay, never mind. I know there's got to be some implications here, but anyways, give me the Eagles and give me the over 44.5. Honestly, I think that's low. I think this is going to be extremely high-scoring game. Probably turn out to game of the week, in my opinion, and that's how I see it going down.
Again, I'll take the over, but I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, I'm going to take Josh Allen over the pedestrian offense that is the Eagles. I think they get the job done in Buffalo and put pressure on the Patriots to step up and continue to win. And then we go into Monday night. Sunday night. We got the Chicago Bears, the surging Chicago Bears, like just just surprised. Not maybe not such a surprise, but just taking control of this division. They head into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The 49ers are 3-point favorites, 52.5. What are your thoughts here?
I think that the Bears, I think they're getting a little disrespected here being the underdog. San Francisco's been a good team this year, but I think they're just missing something. They're just a tad off of like a true contender. I'm not saying that the Bears are, but I like the juice you're getting with the +3. So give me the Bears +3 and give me the under. 52.5's a lot. I do think it gets right around 50, but I'm not too sure. So that's the way I'm going.
I agree with the under. I think this would be a bit of a. I don't see a high scoring game here per se. That's a big over under. I do think the 49ers get the job done. I think they're really setting in as a threat in the NFC. The 49ers are. They got all their weapons back. The run game is obviously on fire. Robinson just fit it nice in that receiving core, and McCaffrey. And speaking of McCaffrey, and we jump into fantasy football, that was a big semifinal for all you folks that also were in your playoffs last week. Austin Puka Nakua'd me on Thursday. He already stepped out with a 40-plus point performance. We thought it was over. And then my team stepped up huge on Sunday, absolutely crushing it. And, Yahoo, which I think over embellishes the percentage of winnings, had me at 70%. Big performance on Sunday night by Stephon Diggs for Austin to put him in the wheelhouse of potential victory. On Monday night, all I had to do is keep CMC less than, 22 points, 23 points?
23. It was like 23.2, and he ended up having like 29.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Look, the Colts couldn't do anything to shut him down. He was averaging like 7 yards a carry. He comes out of the backfield for that reception of a touchdown. The thing that killed me, though, was I swear the 49ers scored a touchdown prior to his second touchdown. They didn't review it. They went right to quick snap, and they find CMC alone in the end zone again. The guy's maybe the biggest threat on the planet as far as weapons that a team has. And for you not to try to let other pieces destroy you from the 49ers, that's a shame. The Colts couldn't get it their own way. You won. You're in the final. Congratulations. Hoping you come away with the victory, but we'll see. What do you think? What do you think your odds are?
I just want to mention here, me and my dad, most of you guys probably know how the scoring works at fantasy football. This league has, normal scoring. Nothing's been tinkered with. So the total came down to 162.1 to 169.1, which honestly, I just looking at that score, like a combined score of over 330 points, whatever it is probably one of the highest totals of any matchup on the given year. My dad to score 162 and lose, that was probably like a 99%, or that's like a 1% loss chance.
That's great. Thanks for rubbing it in.
If you're putting up 160 points, you should be winning 99% of the time. So it's just one of those lucky weeks. He had Barkley, Pitts 15 points, Pickens 22 points. One of the greatest semifinal matchups I've ever been a part of in my life. We should be duking it out in the finals right now. I seen the other people didn't even put up 120. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A great matchup, and I'm off to a great start in this next week with an 81% chance prediction already, because he had Worthy go, and I don't even think he put up a point.
Ooh.
So that's really helping me out. Just a complete blank spot, and then Jahmyr Gibbs with an absolute no-show.
Oh.
I think he had 3 or 4 points for Jahmyr Gibbs, who averages like 15 to 20. So I'm looking pretty. I don't even need Nakua to do that much this week. Let's go. Let's get it done. 3-time champ coming in hot.
Well, that's great to get so close, and then that sums up my whole fantasy football and sports gambling is the low percentage play. I'll tell you, even yesterday I had I had a parlay with the Raptors, straight up beating the Washington Wizards. The 5-23 win Washington Wizards, and they down easily the Raptors yesterday. Like, why is that happening to me? Why is it like the Lions lose and turn the ball over 6 times against a Vikings team? Why does Lamar Jackson get kneed in the back and can't continue? Like, why is that happening to me instead of the opposite? So let's not go off on that. It's going to get me like outrageously frustrated. We have our final matchup. Monday nighter, the Los Angeles Rams head into Atlanta. They're 8.5-point favorites over the Atlanta Falcons. Does LA got much to play for? I mean, they got the number 1 seed at the no, they don't. Seattle does. They have actually the number 7 seed. No, 6 seed. So they do got a lot to play. They want to catch Seattle. So they absolutely want to keep this going. Do you see any way that the Atlanta Falcons can keep up with the Rams on Monday night?
You know what? I think the Rams do win this game, obviously, but I think they win by a touchdown. I think they win by 7 points. I think, Atlanta hasn't been terrible lately, and I think it's just one of those primetime games that's closer than you think. So give me Atlanta plus 8.5, and give me the under 49.5. That seems quite high to me.
Okay, I'll take the over. What the hell? It's the overrated experience. I'll take the Rams just for the sake of I don't trust Kirk Cousins in that offense to keep up with the Rams. That Rams offense can be explosive at times. And, it changes a lot of things when you're a team like the Falcons that has to chase and maybe cannot hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson as much as you wanted to in your original game plan. So give me the Rams there. And, that concludes Week 17 of the NFL. And after that, we have that weird week where maybe there's 1 or 2 matchups. Most teams, though, are locked into the playoffs. And then we get into the wild card weekend, which is wild. And just outstanding, crazy action in the NFL. And, I don't know why we do this to ourselves. It's very stressful to try to analyze these games, and you see a fumble or you see 6 turnovers by a Lions team that you didn't see that coming. So it's always fun in the NFL. Any closing thoughts, Austin, on the NFL or anything else in sports?
No, not much to say. With what you said, there's always going to be that luck factor involved to this. No matter how much research you do, no matter how long you're making these picks, there's some things that are out of your control, and you don't know that are going to happen. So, bet wisely, folks, and only bet what you can handle.
Bet what you can handle. That's a key thing to understand. Bet wisely. And again, we're only here to provide some entertainment for you. We're not pushing you in one direction or another. We're just telling you what we think on a week-to-week basis. So the overrated experience is off to watch some soccer action at 10 a.m. And we hope you enjoyed. The pleasure was all yours. The overrated experience is over and out.
Awesome.